Hi knitters, welcome to PJKnits. My name's Penny and I live in Central Illinois, and I'm a knitter, a blogger, and a YouTube podcaster. And I want to welcome new people who are just finding this podcast, this journal of my knitting, and also tell those who come back each week and comment and do all the things at PJKnits. I do appreciate you coming back each week. So grab a cuppa and let's talk about some knitting here. I say knitters, but yet I want to make sure that everybody knows that makers are totally welcome, because I have a lot of friends who do all kinds of making. I too have dabbled in a lot of things: crochet, cross stitch, needlepoint, sewing, quilting. Right now knitting just seems to be, and reading, and knitting seems to be have taken over totally my life. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. So anyway, grab a cuppa. This is my pea cup from my friend Victoria. And so grab a cuppa and let's talk about some knitting. Well, I get some notes. First off, let's do the weather report here for Central Illinois. Today is Monday, June 17th. We are just 3 days away from summer officially starting, and perhaps kicking off the summer of shawls again. I'm doing a lot of sweaters, so it may be the sweaters of summer. But anyway, summer is officially coming on the 20th. It's already hit here. It is hot. We had some really nice days like a week or so ago and at the last podcast, but now it's in the 90s every day. It is the long-term forecast until at least through the weekend. Next is no rain, lots of sunshine, which I'm not complaining about, but it's going to be in the 90s. So as far as knitting on the porch, it is probably early mornings at best, maybe late evenings, but a lot of times I don't actually go out in the late evenings because of bugs. Even though it's very well lit in my area, it's just by then I'm ready to just stay in. So anyway, it's going to be hot for a while, so perfect time to get out your summer knits and wear them as well. Also, I just wanted to give a heads up. We do a Zoom every Saturday night at 6 o'clock, and that information's in the PJKnits Ravelry Group. And I did not know this last Saturday before I closed, but I found out last night that I am going to be celebrating my oldest granddaughter's birthday this weekend, so I will not be on Zoom. But the Zoom is open, and usually Marie is there. And again, thank you, Marie, for always pitching in. I do totally appreciate you doing that. So, and if she's not there, it's still open. And those who want to get together on a Saturday night at 6 p.m. Central Illinois time, feel free to do it. And I will see you at the end of the month. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Makers Meetup, we are getting more and more people. We're inching towards 80 people, and we're totally pleased about that, and so looking forward to that in about 6 weeks away, less than 6 weeks probably. So, but that is on Friday, July 26th and 27th. A lot of us are going in on Thursday the 25th. So if that's your jam, we will not be in the conference room. We will be wherever we can find a spot. So if you're coming in on Thursday, look for us in the lobby and other places. Bring your knitting, etc. It is at the Hilton Garden Inn, Hoffman Estates. And again, all that information is in the PJKnits Ravelry Group. There is a thread for that and a link for the hotel. The hotel block deadline, the reservation deadline, is July 9th. So that's just a few short weeks away. So if you've not made your reservation, please do so, because we are getting a rate there as well. And I'm going to apologize in advance for wiping my nose, but it's allergies. I've been dealing with that last week even more. Everybody says that, right? And for those who were on Zoom the other night, the little thing I was talking about, after Zoom, I did a BP pressure check, and it was way down. So I'm just saying, knitting and Zoom with knitters really helps. So anyway, I apologize. Wipe the nose. There's nothing to be done about that. Okay, so let's get started about talking about knitting. I thought this would be Shawl Week, but it seems like this is still a continuation of sweaters. I'm in such a sweater mojo right now. That's all I want to do is knit on my sweaters. I'm having so much fun with them. And you know, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm trying very hard to be knitting on the next season. But right now I'm still finishing up some summer sweaters. I have one on the needles and a possible one that I might want to cast on. But I also have winter sweaters as whips. And so it's no surprise to most of you that I have a lot of whips and they encompass the seasons as it would be. But today I'm so excited about some of the summer things that I'm doing. And so I want to share just some things with you and my thought on my knitting in general again, just to talk about it. So I hope that you will grab your knitting and a cuppa and kick back for a little while and let's just chat about things. I would love it too if you would put in the comments below if there's any particular, again, summer sweaters, summer yarns that you are just loving right now. I'd like to hear about that. So others would as well. So we do enjoy your comments as well. So first up, I want to talk about my last year's 2023 project. As I said before, I didn't do at the end of the year. This is what I've done all year long in 2023. But I thought that I would reprise those as we go through the seasons when I finished them last year. And so we're going to start with what's on Miss Manny to start with. This is Sommerknus. This is the original version of Sommerknus. And I have my notes in my journal from last year, which is quite thick and just has a few whips left from last year on it. And so I have my little information that I wanted to tell you about. I wanted to tell you about my Sommerknus. And let's start with showing you the pattern. There is a Sommerknus light out. I don't know that I'm going to knit that. I've knit one already. I love knitting the textures on this. And this is, she calls this a summer version of Knus. So evidently there's a heavy version, a Sommerknus, and there is just a new version, which is Sommerknus Light, which I think might be fingering weight or DK. You know, I might look into that now that I say that. But anyway, this is Sommerknus from last year when I knit. She brought the pattern out in 2022. It is by Elizabeth Judith. And again, all the information that I give you, that I talk about here, will be in the description box below in a couple of days. It usually takes me maybe 2-3 days to get it in. But anyway, this is the pattern. Very textured. She is from Denmark. I started this on April 21st last year and finished it on May 9th. So relatively a quick knit. And what I loved about it is I love the ever-changing, seeing how, you know, always having something different to do, kind of like striped socks, right, Margaret? Looking forward to that next stripe to see what happens. And so I liked doing that with this particular pattern. So it didn't take me long to do. I always swatch, and this is Ultra Pima, so I swatched it as well. The pattern in the Sommerknus, the summer version as she calls it, it calls for 2 yarns held together to be a sport. And so I had some Ultra Pima in my PYS in the teal. I think I still have some. I made a shawl one year out of it with black, and then I had this, and I think I still have, and I might have donated it. Anyway, it was a favorite back then. So anyway, I I did one strand of Ultra Pima from my local yarn shop. This is the size medium, which is a 42 finished inch measurement, and about 2.5 to 4 inches ease. Mine does have some ease in it, and I will wear it on a show, an episode in the future, and also on my Ravelry project page, PJKnits1, you can see it on my body as well. So, so you can find it there. Now, one of the things that I altered in this, or modified in this pattern, she has you doing casting on and then picking up the stitches at the end and then doing the rib. And I decided to start with the rib before. I started with ribbing instead of picking up at the end, because I just thought there was more structure, and I really didn't want to go back and pick those stitches up. So I did do that. Again, mods are on my PJKnits1 Ravelry page of what I did. So I ribbed for 1.25 inches according to my notes. And then just kind of followed the pattern all along. When I was done, again, this was Cascade Yarns Ultra Pima in color number 3735. And when I was all done, I used 3 skeins and 53 yards. So each skein is 220 yards. This is 100% Pima cotton. So it's a Pima cotton. And my thoughts on it afterwards, when I was all done, and I'm a 39-ish bust, and so my tendency is to go larger through the bust, even though I want it to be more fitted through the waist and then out to the hips. But in this particular one, despite getting gauge of 4.5 stitches per inch, it was a 42-inch bust, and 42, I didn't make any mods towards the bottom. So it was 42 all the way down. Now it fits really well around the hip, which is really what I love. And I had this over a teal dress. I bought a teal tank top to put underneath it, because when I wore it, and you'll see on my page, I just thought in spots it was a little bit, maybe a little too sheer for me. I'm not sure. So I'm on the fence as to what I'll wear with it. But I like this, and I have a teal, like I said, a tank, and I think that this is my teal dress that Miss Manny always has. So I think I will continue to wear the tank underneath it, just because I like that look. I don't like necessarily having to, blatantly, when I look in the mirror, see beige or cream or whatever is going on. So that is my Sommerknus from 2023, and a wonderful pattern for summer knitting. If you have some Ultra Pima, or you have access to Ultra Pima, mine was at my local yarn shop, the Fiber Universe. She just got a new supply of it, and I made several things with this. Like I said, I did a summer shawl, several years back. I was going to wear it to a wedding, and it was just too dang hot to wear it, so I ended up donating it, and a friend at hospice received it. So that is the Sommerknus. Still a good one, and from 2023, and I'm going to wear it. I got to get busy wearing that for sure. So I wanted to share that with you to start with. Next up is the real sweater section, if I could say that. I am trying very hard, okay? Let's preface this. I'm trying very hard this year to knit for my PYS and to knit for my library. And I'm doing a good job at that. But let me say, not in today's episode, but in future episodes, you will see that I have kind of went down, I've been really good about not jumping on every bandwagon, right? Because I really want to knit from things that I thought were fun a year ago or 2 years ago, and you use PYS, and especially my PYS spring yarns. but there were a couple of, all right, there's three maybe, 3 or 4, I can't remember. There's some new sweater quantities coming, a couple of sock possible gifts, possible socks for me. There's some of that is coming, that is making its way to me. So in future episodes, you will see that I don't totally knit out of PYS, but I'm really trying hard for spring, summer. And I think the yarns that I bought now are really all going to be for fall and winter. So yes, I have a lot of fall, winter yarns in my PYS, but I'm fine with that for now. So anyway, so I just wanted to kind of throw that out so that when you see future episodes and you're like, well, yeah, but you said, Penny, that you were going to knit from your PYS in your library, and that's not happening. You know, I think it's like diets. You can't always not eat what you want to, because then you end up eating all the things you want to, right? So anyway. So let's get on to the next one. Let's talk about some things from my PYS and from my library. Let's talk about the Tolsta Tee. I bought this pattern last year. I tried a couple of different yarns in the last year in it and was just not happy with it. And so finally thought, when I was going through my summer patterns, I thought it was time to give it a try. And as it happens to be, I had a yarn in PYS that I was either going to use this year or I was going to get rid of, right? And it is the one that I am wearing. This is some bamboo pop. Both of these are bamboo pop. This was the solid. This is a variegated. And so when I first started, my thought was to use the pink bamboo pop and just knit just a simple pink a tee, summer tee. You know, I like wearing my knits all the time. I want, especially I want to wear them. I've knit them, I want to wear them. And so I even want to wear them when I'm just at home. And I thought, well, you know, I want to say my swatch I liked years ago that I knit. But when I cast it on, I was like, you know, I'm just not loving or really liking just a solid pink tee out of this yarn. And so as I got just a little bit further, Crayabea is really good about, she has another addendum to this that shows modifications with stripes and lighter weight yarns and all of those things. And so I decided that I also had this variegated bamboo pop. Now, both of these PYS yarns they have to be greater than 6 years, 7 years old, maybe even 8, bordering on the 9 years old in PYS. And so you can see I really wanted to fish or cut bait on them, either keep them or donate them to somebody who would use them. And I found out afterwards that a lot of people use the bamboo pop for kids, little kids' dresses and sweaters. My grandkids they're not into my knits. They would not, this is just not their thing or their fabric, let's put it that way. So anyway, I decided after I got so far, I saw the stripes and I thought, let's just throw in the variegated and see what it does. And what happened was, because this variegated has all of these colors, the green and the blue, but it also has the pink that went with this. So if you can see where this is here, this is pink that was actually in the variegate. And so it just kind of was one of those things that it just did what it did. And I let it do it. I just let it go. So I'm going to stand up and kind of give you the whole view. Later on, there'll be on my PJKnits one Ravelry project page. There'll be a project page. I'll do a little spin on Instagram probably in the coming days. But anyway, I'm just going to stand up so you kind of get the effect of it. It's a raglan sleeve, of course. I I lengthened my sleeves as I always did and put the rib on it, and then I lengthened the body as well to be more conducive. This morning I had it over a teal dress and it just was like too stark for me, the combination. But I think that this, for a summer thing, top, for a summer top would be great over white. I have some white capris, white jean capris that this would be wonderful over as well. So I'm just going to give you a little stand. And so you can see how this just did its thing, right? And that's what I'm loving. It just changed. And I just carried up the yarns every so far. And you can see here where there was a little bit more pink. And I just love it. I love the neckline on it. I did cast on, well, let's start at the beginning with my notes from my journal. I knit the size 3, which is the 39 3/4 inch bust. I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. I cast on the 9 with 96 stitches with a 16-inch needle, which a size 6 needle. And since this design, and she says that this design has a fairly large neck on the pattern, I knew that I didn't want that. I like mine to be just a little bit closer. If I was not wearing it over a dress, I don't want my bra straps showing as I wear it. So I knew I wanted a little bit tighter neck. And so I started with 8 stitches less and did the ribbing, and then I increased right after that. So, and I also switched then to a size 8 needle. So it's a fairly large needle for sure. And that's why when I was working on it, I wasn't super, it was like, am I going to love this? Because it was a lighter, it was a larger gauge than I was thinking I was wanting. It was like a little loosey-goosey, but I motored on just because I wanted to see how it was. I added 2 1/4 inches and on it. When it was all said and done, I did 6 rows of the main color and then did 2 rows of the contrast color. And so then I finished off with a 1 by 1 1/4 inches of a rib. For the sleeves, as always, I picked up extra stitches, and I picked up 18 extra stitches underneath the arms. I don't know what it is, but I always have greater amount. I know that from the get-go because I want to encompass a larger arm. And 18 is a lot, but it was spot on with what I wanted to do. And yes, down the road I'm going to I'll do an episode all about modifications that I generally make on my sweaters, but it's going to be a while down in the making, down the road. But yes, I picked up extra stitches to accommodate for the arms, and I did I think it was 4.5 inches of knitting before I ended with the rib. I did not. When I tried it on pre-blocking, I thought the arm was going to be a little tight. So when I got down to the rib, I stayed with the size 8 needle. 8 needle? I must have. I stayed with the size 8 needle, even for the rib. I didn't go down to a size 6 for the ribbing, and it's just where I want it. So, you know, that thought that you always have to go down a couple of needle sizes for the rib. In this case, I did not, and I was happy about that because there's a lot of things I don't like a sweater to be loosey-goosey. I don't like to be tight. I like it to fit good, but I do not like tight sleeves. So that's just me. So anyway, so I was perfectly happy with what I got with that. again, this was Bamboo Pop from Universal Yarn. The main color is Super Pink, number 114. I used 517 yards of that. The contrast color is Happy Birdie, B-I-R-D-I-E, color number 204, and I used 152 yards of it. And I still have some left. So these are generous skeins. There's 292 yards per skein, and it's 50% cotton and 50% bamboo, hence the reason why I think it grew to where I wanted it to be. I haven't got the picture in yet, but there is the colorway. So you can see that the variegated there had the pink and the blue and the green, how that transitioned. So I am loving it. I'm totally loving the sweater, and it feels good on, and I'm super, super pleased about it. Okay. So that is a summer sweater that I am knitting on. And if you follow me, I had this wild idea a bit back last week I've talked about this before. 52 Weeks of Easy Knits. I love this book. For me, it was bang on for the buck of the pattern, and I do believe now it is out in paperback. But this is a line of publishing that I bought last year from a local yarn shop, and I fell in love with a lot of things here, but this sweater fits the bill. It is for the season ahead. It is from PYS. It is from my library. It is something that I am loving. It is a book that I enjoy knitting out of. If I can find it really quickly, I'll show you the one. This is the one that I knit comfy. I knit last winter, if you remember, from it. So I've already knit one of the sweaters from it, and now I am knitting number 2. This is called Viimein, and it's on the cover as well as in the book itself. Is this a different picture? It's a little bit different picture than she's got there. And the thing that's cool about this is you don't have to knit necessarily the stripes if you don't want, but they also do a version of it in solid. So definitely, so it has great potential. And I was having so much fun with this sweater that I had to stop knitting on it, because I was knitting on it instead of my summer sweaters and things that I wanted to finish, not only for myself, but for the podcast. So anyway, the thing about this pattern, this knit as it would be, wrong one. The thing about this is it's just so darn fun. And the main color that I am knitting this with is Legacy Fiber Arts in Vanilla Bean. This yarn, PYS, this is pandemic yarn. This is right when the pandemic was starting and before, you know, life kind of fell apart here. But that's how old this is. This was going to go into something else, and it wasn't working. So the base yarn that I'm using is Vanilla Bean. And then I have a collection of brights. This was going to be a, what's it called? Is it jelly bean? this was going to be a jelly bean. Well, it started out, some of these were going to be a shawl that I was doing, and a mystery shawl along. I bought a kit. And then I decided it was going to be the jelly bean roll. And then I decided these may still go into the jelly bean roll, but right now I wanted to do this cover sweater, and so here's my little collection. Isn't this fun? Don't you love this? This is my collection of brights right now, and so I pulled all of these out as I was thinking about what to put in, and every once in a while I would go back to PYS and say, okay, I need a blue in there, right? So here, let's do this one, and pulled some out of my another blanket that I'm doing, right? And so anyway, this is just the funnest of all. I'm just having so much fun with that. But as I said, I had to finally put it down because it was all encompassing. And I'm at the split now. It's an interesting construction. You have to check it out in the book. But here it is. I'm just like, I can't wait to finish my summer sweaters. And it's like potato chips. It's also mindless. All you have to do is figure out what the next color is going to be in the sweater. And so I am loving it. It is going to be so much fun. And it's an interesting, as I said, construction. Here is the armhole. Comes out. Very interesting. And so I'm just having fun with this. So much fun. But again, it has to stay back in the bag. I just can't knit on it right now while I have other things, encompassing it, because it really is for a transitional sweater into there. So as I said, I'm using the Legacy Fiber Arts Vanilla Bean and then PYS yarns. This is, I am knitting the size 2, and the finished measurements should be around 42¼ inches. It's done on I started out with the size 6 needle and did the rib on that, and then after that I switched to a size 7 through most of the top, but for me, I thought it was a little tight, and if it hurts my hands when I'm moving those stitches around the needles, so I decided to go up to a size 8, and I'm liking that much more. There are decreases on this pattern, and I have eliminated them, but anyway, that's what I'm having so much fun with is that sweater, and being able to just kind of switch it out a bit, right? It's a lot of fun. I hope that if you have the book, or if you're looking at the book or the pattern, you'll give it a quick look and maybe cast on one too, and go to your stash, go to your YS, and pick out some really cool stuff. And then next up is a sweater that I am also having fun with. And this is why I am so torn by everything that I am doing, because I'm having so much fun. The eye candy on this particular one that brought it to my attention was last year at the mini meetup. The ladies from 3 Ply Podcast all wore this sweater, Look at My Holes, by James and Watts, on Saturday, and it was stunning on them in all different colors and all styled all differently. And I had looked at it, when it first came out, and I'm like, no, that's not me. I've evolved as a knitter of things that I want to wear, and right now holes and throwovers are hot, right? We know that. So here is the pattern on James, of course, and now you know already that I'm going to lengthen those sleeves, and I'm going to lengthen the body. But I'm loving this, and I'm almost, and the fun thing about it is I am using PYS. This is Sunseeker yarn by Cascade. This yarn is deep PYS, and I can tell you it was from 2013. And I am knitting the size large on a 9 needle. And here's where I was the last time we talked. And because at the mini meetup last year, so I put my little progress keeper there. Progress, Penny, Central Illinois, progress. But anyway, let's see here. Let's see. Oh my gosh. So I'm almost to the point where I'm going to get to split. Let's see if you can see there's a little bit of sparkle in it. And so I'm loving that. And again, I am almost 100% sure that I'm going to wear it over my pink sweater that I have here. The thing that I will have to watch on this particular one when I knit it is this dress. I'm loving, I bought several of these. They are from QVC, they're Susan Graver. They have pockets on them, and I want to make sure that I either go longer than the pocket or I go much shorter than the pocket, because the one that I was trying on with one of the dresses today, it hit right at the pocket. My hands went in the pocket, and so it really, you know, I'm like, yeah, and the pockets kind of, you know, bulge out sometimes when you take them out, right? And so then it hit right there, and it just kind of had that little poof. So anyway, that's my plan, I think, but it would be great over a tank top, and again, blue jeans for summer as well. I'm loving dresses for as hot as it is, even inside, right? But definitely when going out and probably to other things. So that's look at my holes and in my summer bag. So I was working on this last night till very early this morning because I'm becoming that person that stays up really late because I'm on a roll and watching stuff on TV, right? And so anyway, I am loving this. This is. Thank you, ladies from 3Ply, for enticing me last year as far as that's concerned. So that is one. And just to give you some quick updates, this one I probably will be working on tomorrow at the local yarn shop, Fiber U, because it's going to be too hot, I think, for us to be outside. This is Helmi. This is also from 52 weeks. And this is where I was at the last time. I have finished the yoke, and so right now it is just all knitting. And this is by Jody Long Alba, and you can see there the little bitty green and the blue that goes through. So it's straight knitting right now for quite some time, and I think that will be the one that it will go. It will go to the yarn shop tomorrow, because when it's 90 and something, we do not sit out on the riverfront. It's a little hot and all of that. So it is in my sandy bag. Let's see. This is Helmi out of the book and by Isabel Kramer. And that's what the original looks like. So looks like right now I've got 3 sweaters. I'm going to have 3 sweaters out of this particular book. So again, I don't remember what the cost was, but I know that it was in hardback. It wasn't super cheap, but there's still more knitting in 52 weeks for me to go. So again, I recommend that book. Just give it a look-see at your local yarn shop, right? Okay. That is all that I have for as far as sweater knitting right now. So you can see I have some sweater knits on my needles, and so I'm coming to now this part of the podcast where I want to talk about my library. And so I received some yarn from a friend, and I've been trying to figure out what to do with it because I wanted something, and I wanted some sort of scarf for summertime. And I'll show you the yarn to start with. This is a fingering weight, and it is Kunamu colorway. It's a Performa Yarns. It is, where's the thing? Zalana. And I knit with Zalana many years ago with a sport weight and a mohair. And this is 40% merino, 30% possum, brushtail possum, and 30% organic cotton. And I knew that I wanted to, and it's called kiwi. I knew that I wanted something in, I thought I wanted a scarf. And I wanted it for kind of transitional and maybe for summer as well, just as a little accent when it's not super hot, right? And it happened to be the day that I cast this on as I had a dress that I had gotten from QVC, from Denim Company, that was a just a t-shirt dress, and it was dip dyed, kind of like it went from dark teal to you know, light aqua. And it just so happened that this was perfect in it. So when I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, it has to be a scarf for that and for other things as well. I didn't think, I looked at Sophie's scarf again, but I've knit one of those, and I didn't want to knit something again, the same thing again. There's a lot of people knitting scarves and thing out there, but I didn't want to necessarily have a scarf that everybody else had. And I was hoping, you know, I had a point in time when I loved scarves back in the day, and they were hot, and we were buying all the scarves books. And so again, in my library, I have quite a few scarf books, maybe, I don't know, about maybe 6 or so. And I looked on Ravelry for something that might be in my library, and not a whole lot was coming up that fit the bill. Maybe I was just doing the wrong search on it. And I looked at free things because I'm like, I don't want to buy a pattern. I wanted to kind of not do all of those things. And so I went to those books that I was talking about in my library that I had all of the, they were all together. And I went through each one of them, and I knew the yardage that I had. And so I looked through each one of them to try and figure out, you know, maybe something that I could do. And I came across this box. It's called the Little Box of Scarves by Melissa Maffei and Cheryl Teese. Now, this box, and I probably bought it right after it came out, is from 2004. That's how long it's been in my library. Fun stuff. Little Box of Scarves. I bought it from our local yarn shop. At the time, one of them was Knit 4 Together. They're now no longer. You know, so this is 20 years ago. This has been in my library. You know, back in the day when we bought paper patterns at local yarn shops and magazines and all the things, right? So that's how long this box has been in there. But anyway, I found just what I was looking for. But I'm going to share, first of all, this was such a unique idea then. I think they also had a little box of sweaters, as I recall it. And they were, I remember these designers back then. They were, it's a Martindale, right? That's who produced it, company. The thing that was fun, here you go. This is the box. When you open it up, it has a little magnetic thing there, but in it, these are all the scarves. And I looked at this one, but I thought maybe I would not have enough, right? There's some scarves in here that would be so much fun. And I wish I would have remembered these, you know, a few years back when I was knitting scarves for our girls' Christmas party, right? But look at these. And this one, pocket scarf. So these are, I'm going to not just set this box aside. I love scarves in the wintertime when I'm out and about. I do remember this one. I think I did knit one of these actually. But these still 20 years ago could be knit now. Maybe not with this kind of yarn, but maybe putting some of the specialty yarns that are in there. I think this is cute. Do it with a mohair or a Surrey alpaca. Young kids, young ladies, you know, teens, big chunky cable. And I did not check, but I should see if this is even available. I'm sure it's not, but maybe these patterns are. I'm just saying, for something that I did not even remember was in my library, wow, I am definitely going to think about putting this as one of those on-the-go projects, and I'll show you a little bag I have that I got, and I'm thinking this would be perfect for that as well. I'm just telling you, wow. Fun stuff. 20 years later, okay? And something very, very similar. I have seen this before and made one, right? So anyway, what happened was I found the perfect scarf. And this is the double eyelet rib scarf. Every wardrobe needs a little double eyelet rib scarf for a touch of soft color and texture. The eyelet pattern is repetitive and soothing to knit, so indulge and express yourself. And they give you creative options. Transform this accent scarf into a winter essential by using a wool, such as Filatura de Closa, Zara, cast on so many stitches and do 60 inches. Mine should be about 44 inches when I'm done. We will see if that makes it. But here you go. And it's on, this one's on a size 4 needle, and I'm loving it because it's an easily memorable pattern, memorizable pattern, and as well as, you know, easy to pick up and put down. Now, it's scrunched up right now, as you will see, but when I block it, I think it's going to all open that up just perfect. Isn't that fun? And as I'm knitting this the last couple of days, wouldn't this be great down the front of a tank or a summer tee? Just very simple. And so I'm thinking about reprising this in a yarn that I have before the summer is over with. Or even a vest for winter, you know, is very reminiscent of some of those that we have seen. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to knit and see how far that takes me. I'd like to be about 44 inches, so if I get to 22, I may switch over, so it may be having some other things. I might have had enough yarn to do one more repeat, but I think that's going to block out just fun. So thank you to my friend who sent it to me. I'm having a lot of fun with that. So there, and it's straight out of my PYS and my library. And these ladies were designers back in the day. So fun stuff. Melissa Mathey has back in 2004 had been already designing for 25 years, and she owned the Knitting Tree in Madison, Wisconsin, and I have been there before. Excuse me. Cheryl Teese was a writer and instructor, and I know where I saw them first. I have their book. I think I still have their book upstairs. I'll have to check it out, but that's where it came from. Basically Brilliant Knits and a Little Box of Sweaters, also from Martingale Company. So I know that I had that book or may still have that book upstairs. So what a find right out of my library. That's the funnest part of getting ready. One of the fun parts of getting ready for the podcast each time is to go back to the library and decide what I'm going to share with you. So, so much fun. I just want to, you know, I just failed to remember this back in March, but in March 2018 is when I first did my first podcast after coming home from Naples. Just on a whim, sat down and did it. So I've been podcasting now here for 6 years, and I do appreciate the community that we are building here. Saturday nights obviously is a blood pressure lowering thing, and so that is so fun. But I wanted just to kind of, shout out about that. Next up, the Sandy Bag winner. Thank you for all of the comments below. I do like to read those comments, and I hope that if you're watching this video that you will do a couple of things for me, that you will like the video, subscribe the video, comment, share it with a friend. I would love to see 1,000 subscribers. Wouldn't that be fun at times? But whatever it is, we're having so much fun, and I do appreciate that. So the Sandy Bag winner from last time, and here it is. This bag goes out to Marina. Congratulations, Marina. I loved your comment as well. And it was I do random comment generator. So Marina is one of the ladies that is on our Zoom on Saturday night. And she too matches her bag to her yarn or something fun that's going on as well. And so that was so much fun to see that as well. So yay, Marina. If you will send me your address, I will send that out to you in the next week or so. I know that you probably will not get to you before you do your trip. But I will get it out in the next week or so. I'm going to the post office. So just DM me or not, or send me a Ravelry message, or send me an email or whatever. Where you can find me, all that information will be in the drop down description box below. I am on Instagram mostly as PJKnits. Like I said, we have a PJKnits Ravelry Group. It's PJKnits, and my handle over there is PJKnits1. And I have a blog, www.pjknits.blogspot.com, which is a lot of the same stuff that I post on Instagram. But there's also life stuff on there and what is happening. I should be back before the end of June in the next couple of weeks. But just as a reminder, if you are a sock knitter and you are knitting on some socks, please show us your finished project in the PJKnits Ravelry Group. There's a mistletoes thread, and we'd love to see what you're knitting on. I've not knit anymore on my socks because I am having so much fun with my sweaters and my scarves. So there is that. Anyway, and then I have one mail call that just came today. And this is, I don't need project bags per se, or bags, but I love a bag. And so I'm not going to stop buying them. I'm going to add to my collection. And that's for somebody else in the long future to worry about with all the bags. But anyway, I could not resist this one, and it came today. Pardon me. This is from a bag maker that I am drawn to, and I have been drawn to. I think this is my third bag from her, from Buttonjar Studio. Whoops, let's do it this way. And I love when she has her updates and sends a little pin that will go on my pin board. And I think this is going to be the perfect bag for maybe one of those little scarves to put in for future, maybe. This is Julie Cashin from Buttonjar Studio, and I follow her on Instagram. You have, like I said, when she has updates, you have to, get on those right away. But I've been loving these. I love her fleecy bags, and so I bought one of the bigger fleecy bags for my winter sweater, and this one came this morning. And of course, the thing I'm going to love about this is I can put that little project in there, and then seal it up. But she had me at the fleece, right, the Sherpa, and then I couldn't resist the top, so it has a little, and it has a drawstring. Isn't that cool? I love that idea of the little leather cord through there. So I think that'll be perfect. Has a little leather handle. Will be perfect for one of my little little projects. Whatever. So that is the mail call there. And that's about all I have. If you have questions, let me know. I just wanted to say one thing here before we end, because we're getting long, and I appreciate you guys sticking with me. But I had a message from Karen. Hi, Karen, on Instagram. And thank you, Karen, for watching. Appreciate it. Thank you for reaching out to me. And she had a question about how I, about, you know, all the knitting that I do, and how do I fit that in with all of the other things that, you know, encompass us. And so I responded back to Karen on Instagram in a very long post, and said, this is probably more than you want to know, but, and I have other people who say, you know, oh, you knit so much, you knit a lot of things, and I do. Secrets to that is I have lots of whips. So when you finish something or you pull something out, it's partially started, you know. Maybe the gauge swatch is already done, you've already cast on, and other things, let's just put it that way. So when you pull it out, you know, you don't have that startitis type thing. That's one thing. I do a lot of whips. The other thing that I just want to say is I'm alone, right? It's just me here. And so I have kids in Iowa, and I have kids that are close by, but you know, they all have their lives and work busy lives, and I do see them as well. But it's not, my life is not such that I'm not watching them, you know, I'm not watching them all the time. I go and see them and we visit and things like that, but they have their lives, right? And so I have a lot of knitting time. I go out a couple of times a week and knit with my friends, but for the most part, I knit. I am knitting all the time, all day long. And since it is just me, I don't have to cook meals. Now, I never did cook meals, really, because my husband, he loved doing that. And he did the grocery shopping. So it wasn't till he passed that I had to start making my own meals. Well, I shouldn't say that. I had to start making my own meals while he was sick as well. But when you're feeding a family of one, it's so much different. You know, I don't have to, I can do apple and peanut butter, right? Or a salad or something quick. And I still don't cook a lot. I go in spurts, you know. I like quick and easy. So I don't have to plan meals for family, or as that would be. And grocery shopping, I love that, you know, that Aldi delivers, especially when I have a big order or when it's really hot or really cold, really windy. Just give me an excuse. So I do a lot of knitting. And again, I live alone. And so it's just me in this house. So, you know, yeah, I do clean on an occasion as well when I know people are coming, or when the clutter gets too much, I have to pick up. But, you know, it's a laundry for one, it's cleaning for one. And so my life is much different. And knitting is my passion. Knitting is what I do. Knitting calms me. Knitting is, you know, is my fun. You know, it is my going out. I don't go out at night. So it's not that I don't want to go out at night. It's just that I prefer my home. And I think that COVID has done a lot of that, you know, to us and other things. It's just, you know, when you're a party of one, you're a party of one. So anyway, and I'm not dissing that at all. And I'm not, you know, it is what it is. But I love that I have my knitting to get me through. And obviously it does wonderful things for my wardrobe. And it has brought a community here to my doorstep. So I'm sad that I can't knit on the porch when it's so doggone hot, but that's kind of how I knit, and how I knit a lot, because I'm always knitting, and I'm very cognizant of my hands and my body, because I don't want to lose my hands, you know, or other things that would circumvent me knitting every day, and because I would just be a real sorry bitch if that was the case. That'd be like taking caffeine away from me. They tried to do that once, it didn't work. I was not a good person. I was not a happy camper, and those around me weren't either. So anyway, All right, I digressed long enough. Again, thank you so much. I will see you in a couple of weeks. Please wear your knits, knit some summer knits, but also think about, what the new season's coming. Not to rush the summer away, but have a sweater ready, on the needles, off the needles when it gets chilly outside. So until next time, in the words of my favorite giraffe, Finn, I'm loving him. He just brings a smile to me. I'll see you next time, and bye.